Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all having an amazing day. If you're new here, my name's Cassandra and I make videos focused on natural lifestyle and clean beauty. So if you're interested, hit the subscribe button and be sure to turn on the notification bell so you're updated with all my latest videos. You can also check me out on Instagram at RNGDBeauty. So for today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how I wax several different areas of my body and face. So I'm also going to be sharing with you all the products that I use and tips on how to make sure everything goes smoothly. So I haven't always been doing my own waxing. I actually only started doing this because of COVID and the lockdown and the salons being closed. But honestly, I'm so happy that I made the decision to do this. I'm definitely going to continue doing my own waxing when everything opens up again. It's so much less expensive, it's so convenient, and frankly, it's actually pretty easy once you get the hang of it. So the wax warmer that I use is by Satin Smooth. I bought it on Amazon. It's been working perfectly for me. A lot of wax warmers on there have pretty mixed reviews. I bought this one because it has really good ratings. The wax that I use isn't by the same company. You can pretty much buy any wax and use it with this warmer. My preferred wax is the Sharonelle Soft Wax. It's a natural depilatory wax for sensitive skin with no chemicals or synthetic fragrances. Don't be put off by some of the reviews of this wax. It's supposed to be sticky, otherwise it will not be able to adhere and remove coarse hair. Also, any residual wax can easily be removed with coconut oil. So to do your own waxing, you're going to need some cotton waxing strips. I prefer to buy a roll and cut mine according to the size I need for each specific area. Another thing you'll need is wax applicator sticks. They're basically large popsicle sticks made out of wood. A few other things that I like to use that are totally optional are cornstarch and rose water. I use rose water before waxing to shrink the pores in that area and after to soothe the skin post-wax. I sprinkle on cornstarch before waxing to absorb any excess oil or moisture from the skin that may prevent the wax from adhering and gripping onto the hair. Lastly, it's very important to have coconut oil on hand so you can remove any residual wax from your skin post-wax. So as promised, I'm going to be sharing with you the tips that I've picked up along the way to ensure that everything goes well. Tip number 1, exfoliate the night before waxing. This will ensure that the wax grips onto your hair and not your skin. Tip number 2, make sure the temperature is right for the wax that you're using. So the wax that I'm using is low temperature wax, so it's just supposed to be slightly warm. I like to test out the temperature on my hand before I start waxing. Tip number 3, use rose water to shrink pores and cornstarch to absorb any extra moisture or oil. So after the rose water is dry, I sprinkle on cornstarch and rub it in. Then I wipe off any excess with a clean towel. Tip number 4, if you're using a roll and cutting your own strips, make sure that you have ample amount of room to grip onto the strip and pull. Tip number 5, when dipping your applicator stick into the wax, make sure to scrape one side of the stick off. Tip number 6, make sure you don't do too big of an area or too small of an area. If the area is too small, it will be extremely time consuming and difficult. And if the area is too big, wax will be sitting on the skin longer than it should be. I hope this makes sense. I had a really hard time trying to figure out how to word this. Tip number 7, spread wax as thin as possible in the direction of the hair growth. If the wax is too thick, it won't grip onto the strip and will be left on your skin and you won't be able to remove any hair. Tip number 8 is some areas of the body have hair that grows in different directions. Look out for this as you will have to spread the wax in each different direction and pull in the opposite direction or the hair will be left behind. Some examples of where you might see this is your underarms or the back of your leg. If an area has hair that goes in both directions, wax one time in each direction. Never wax the same area more than twice. If you have sensitive skin, I recommend only waxing once in each area and then using tweezers to get whatever's left over. Number 9, rub strip firmly, leaving enough room to grab strip and pull against the direction of hair growth. Number 10, stretch skin with one hand and with the other hand pull the strip in a snappy movement against the hair growth. Now I'm repeating the process until there's no wax left. I like to wax about half a strip lengthwise at a time to minimize pain and irritation. Tip number 11, each wax strip can be used several times, and when you're done waxing an area, fold the strip in half and tap each area that has residual wax to remove. Now I'm spreading wax on another section. I like to split my lower leg into about 7 to 8 sections. So this is a sped up version on how I wax my whole lower leg so you can see the process without being bored to death. Now I'm applying rose water to soothe the skin. Tip number 12, apply coconut oil after waxing, especially focusing on the areas that have residual wax. This is essential and also makes your skin so soft and smooth and hydrated. So now we're getting up close and personal. Moving on to those pesky upper lip hairs. Why do women even have these? It makes no sense. I like to divide this into 2 sections. This can be a tricky area to spread the wax thin, but it will eventually spread out nicely. For this area, I pull the strip in a diagonal upward motion. This is the only way to do this area without hitting my nose. It works perfectly. Don't worry, redness is normal and will dissipate in an hour or 2. Now I'm doing the other half. And finishing off with rose water and coconut oil. Next, I'm waxing my lower arms. I don't have much hair here, but I love the look of smooth hair-free arms. I don't do my upper arm though. So this is the only area that I don't wax in the direction of the hair growth. My hair on my arms grows horizontally across my arm, but I've never had much success waxing in that direction. It always causes me more pain and irritation for some reason. Maybe because my arm is so small and round and I can't seem to get a good angle to pull the strip off. Thankfully, waxing vertically works great and is still able to remove the hair. I usually wax my arm in 2 to 3 sections. It's pretty quick and easy because some parts of it don't have any hair. And now finishing off with rose water and coconut oil. Next is waxing my underarms. I wasn't sure if I was going to include this area. Hopefully you guys don't find it odd seeing my underarm hairs. But anyway, I wanted to include this because this is a perfect example of an area that has hairs growing in both directions. So first I spread the wax on the bottom half downward, anywhere I see hairs going in that direction. Now I'm pulling the strip upward. On the other half, I'm spreading the wax upward in the opposite direction. And then pulling the strip downward. Also, don't mind my deodorant stains, they love to surprise me at the most inconvenient times on my black clothing. And again, finishing with rose water and coconut oil. And my last tip, tip number 13, is to exfoliate the area 2 to 3 days after waxing to prevent any ingrown hairs. So that wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or concerns, leave it in the comments down below and I will definitely get back to you. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.